Kia ora koutou, and welcome to another episode of South Pacific Muscle. I'm presenting tonight with some weird-looking lumberjack motherfucker over there with a Canadian hat on and wearing the plaid, looking like he's ready to chop down trees. But I hope he's brighter than what he looks tonight. And, of course, New Zealand's newest pro. Big congratulations, bro. Ash Mullen, how are you, my man?
Thank you, brother. Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me on again. Oh, mate, I'm still in the clouds, to be honest. Yeah, it's been such a surreal past few days. Coming off the win over the weekend and achieving a goal that I had set out, fucking 7 or 8 years ago. It's a phenomenal feeling, and it has taken me, a few days to actually grasp what had happened and for it to sink in, bro. So I think it sort of kicked in the other day, and I was like, holy shit, I've finally achieved the first step of the goal, and I've been on cloud nine ever since, bro. Yeah,
7 years, man. That's amazing. It's real interesting for me because I've watched guys for the last 30 years trying to get pro cards and watch the time it takes, and I've had people come to me and that are in their first year of competing or even haven't competed, and they say, I want to get my pro card. And I'm just sitting in the back of my head going, yes. And while it's a fantastic aim to have, I think the reality for some people is to actually comprehend what it takes to achieve a pro card is next. So Mike, how long did it take you to get your pro card when you...
16 years for me.
Wow, there you go.
But in fairness, there were a few breaks with careers and shoulder reconstructions and whatnot in there. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, so in Ash, 7 years. So I guess, for people that are watching, to sort of comprehend that, the pro card isn't an overnight opportunity. It's something that, is really something that you need to focus on relentlessly for a number of years before you even in contention. So how long ago did you, just for those that don't know, because we've done this before, but let's head to the real crash course of Ash Mullen joining the gym, when he became a bodybuilder, when you actually thought a pro card was something you were going to aim at, and a bit of a summary of the last couple of years and how it's gone for you.
Yeah, bro. So pretty much the first IFBB show I done, which was the Wellington Champs, I think back in 2016 there. I knew from that first show where I wanted to go in the sport. And obviously that was all the way to the Olympia. So I made the decision pretty much after my very first NZIFBB show that's what I wanted. I set that goal right then and there. And I've been on a relentless pursuit ever since. Competed year after year. I've racked up probably well over 20 shows now. And my focus has just been to ensure that I'm progressing with every show I do. And I knew I would get to the goal at some point, as long as I'm progressing and getting better every year. Then that was the main thing, obviously the main goal for me. And I've been, obviously I've been pretty close the last few years, and I never let that get to me, because I knew, in all honesty, I still had a lot of work to do. I wasn't 100% satisfied at the physique that I was bringing. You know what I mean? So even if I won my card, I still wouldn't have been satisfied that I was at that level yet. And this show this year at Auckland Champs was the very first time after all these years that I went into that show confident and knowing that I was ready and at that level. So yeah, I was extremely happy. Yeah,
that's a real good point that I want to touch on, because unlike if you play rugby, even in an average team, you're going to win 50% of the time. In bodybuilding, the wins are less often than the losses, and the second places, being bridesmaid year after year. And I think for a lot of people, not placing first in a show when they, sort of have their hearts set on really wanting to achieve that, is often quite a big knock for people. And I think a lot of people last year were saying, Ash has got the pro card, Ash, you're going to win the pro card. And so, you've got that pressure of people saying that, and you come in a close second. What's your mentality at that point in terms of moving forward?
Yeah, to be honest, I take all my losses as motivation. Nath, yeah. So, when I do take a loss, I know that I've got to come back better. I wasn't good enough. That's pretty obvious. And, I go back to the drawing board and focus on where I need to improve and what I can do to improve for my next showing. And so going off my last show, which was Nationals last year, when I took a close second to SIP, I pretty much, I kept the gas on. Like I was so, my motivation was so fueled from that. And I literally, like, my whole off season was a prep. Like it was my first ever off season where I've actually taken it 100% serious. I had the weekly accountability from my new coach, obviously, and I treated my off season as I would a prep. And I think that was a huge thing for me for this prep. Going into this prep was how I treated my off season, and I put myself in the best possible position to start a prep from. And it was the smoothest, best prep that I've literally ever had. So it started right from the get-go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm loving all this. This is you're like we're singing from the same song sheet. It's incredible because your mindset is I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but you just remind me of me, and just that attitude of just constant seeking for perfecting yourself, not the placing. The placing will come when the placing is meant to come, and just keep striving to be a better bodybuilder is just amazing. And that not taking the knocks and not bitching about it, but getting on with it. Like Mo said, on stage, you don't complain, you just seek the advice and you move on. And you just said about the off season, I remember probably before you were born, I won a nationals on a Saturday, and I got selected for the Australasians on the Monday. Bang, I was in training even harder, and I didn't skip a single workout for 4 months. Right up to I won the Australasians, and I put on about 3 kilos. So
there you go.
You've got the both the heart and the mindset to do really well, because you're looking to constantly improve yourself. Someone who's just chasing titles is going to give up and eventually get bored or dissatisfied. But when the satisfaction comes with what you present, which sounds like your attitude, you'll never fail. I'm really excited. And just that, as I say, that 7 years versus, as Nathan and I have seen other people sort of rock it in and try and want to win it within a week and a half.
I'm gonna pull a and I can't call it a pro tip, because if you guys said it, either of you guys, I could call it a pro tip, but because I'm gonna say it's got to be a bro tip, right? Because I'm the only one here without a card. And I'll review that one. But the bro tip that I'm picking up from both of these guys is just how important those off seasons really are, because a prep is about sharpening your physique and polishing your physique, but that mold, that piece of clay's already been formed. It ain't getting any bigger, So guys, I think people listening, if you really want to succeed, it's not about getting a prep coach when you've got 10 weeks to get on stage. You need that off season, a relentless off season to progress at maximum sort of levels. And hey, one thing I do have to say, Ash, is after such a relentless, I guess, you went from prepping for 2021 straight into a fully, eating off plan, etc. off season. So, that stuff it's pretty relentless, really. And to get to the point now that you tick the box, you got your initial, what you've been aiming for so long. How did it feel, bro? Was it like a weight coming off your shoulders, or?
It very much was. So just a huge sense of relief in a way, Nate. Like a huge weight off my shoulders, knowing that all the work that I had put in it all paid off. So I was, just like, extremely over the moon. I couldn't even put words to describe that feeling. I'm sure, Mike, you would know the feeling, mate, when you got your pro card. It's just a phenomenal feeling. That it's very hard to put to words. So, I was just over the moon, mate. Yeah.
And I have to make a comment. You went shopping at the Gucci shop. How was that? What a reward for yourself.
I commented, Nate, I've got to tell you, I commented to my wife that he managed to afford to buy the shopping bag. Because he's a pro bodybuilder, not a pro golfer.
I had to definitely treat it definitely after the show there. It was that's been one of my goals for a long time, to be honest. Was to walk into that store and purchase what I wanted, and that was just sort of the icing on the cake there, and it made for a phenomenal weekend that I'll never forget. So
nice. One of the things that we always do, guys, is do a quick preview of your Instagram, because I think there'll be a bunch of people out there that obviously want to get to know you from a coaching perspective. There are a lot of people that follow men's physique, a lot of guys that are just coming into men's physique that'll want to follow your journey as you go into a pro. So, Mike, are you able to share Ash's
I'm
Instagram?
trying to get it. Yeah, we work. I feel terrible that the first picture that why is that not popping up there? Participants can now see your application. Okay, can you see the picture there?
Yeah, mate. Can we scroll it up a bit? So
because this picture here was the first one I saw. I thought, no, that can't be.
That's throwback. That's
the one that really jumps out to me, mate. The one that really screams out, if I get to it, is this one here. Holy heck! I mean, Jesus, that's good. That's
that was 9 days out.
That's classic 90s bodybuilding, right there. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, Ash, just out of curiosity, for those people that love the stats, what were you weighing on stage, and what were you at your peak of your off season?
Good question. So the peak of my off season, I got up to around about 103. Yeah, about 103.6 kilos or something like that. I was pushing 104 kilos at the peak of my off season. And then I got right down to, so my lowest weight for this prep was around 89.6. Wow. So yeah, it was a decent amount of weight that I cut down.
Wow. That's amazing, because I saw you perhaps, what was it, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago when you were down here in Hawke's Bay.
That's right.
And I had some of the guys coming up to me and said, "Have you seen Ash? He's fucking huge." And I saw you and I thought, holy shit, Ash is big. But at that point there, you must have been sitting, in the high 80s.
Yeah.
Or early 90s.
Early 90s at that point, Nate, sorry. Yeah, but that's the thing I've noticed. I've noticed that my body composition. So even though I am very light, because of my condition, I do look a lot bigger. So I would have bet the house that you were over 100 kilos when I saw you. A lot of people have said that. Yeah. So that was my lowest weigh-in, was about 89.6 kilos.
It's actually something that really surprises me. Some of the guys that, like Mike, you're very much the same. Your stage weight, when I look at that, I'm like, how the hell does he weigh that little?
Mate, it's funny, he says 89.6. That's what I weighed in at for the Classic Pro in Wellington.
Yeah. I think
that's the thing.
I think some people still get caught up in the numbers and what the scale weighs versus what a quality physique can look like. And if we look at even in the Open Mr. New Zealand title, there's a bunch of guys that are winning that in light heavy or less. So interesting with those numbers.
Yeah.
It's, but the thing that really impressed me is not the 89, but the 103, but obviously keeping that waist so tight. That's obviously, to me, that's attention to detail on the way you're eating in the off season. You're not blowing out the Burger King and the ice cream. You're still eating a lot of
Yep.
clean, healthy food, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. So my diet was very structured, right? Literally, I was eating the same food on my prep that I was on my off season, but obviously just smaller quantities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I keep to obviously a lot of rice, a lot of white rice. Obviously rice flakes. All those, yeah, good carb sources. Which definitely help keep my waist tight. Yeah.
And
Hey, sorry.
to throw it
Sorry,
out there, so who's helping you with your prep and your on and off season dieting and such?
Good question. So I've been working with Ariel Cutts, who's based in the US, Mike. So he's in the US there. I started working with him pretty much after Nationals last year. So end of December, start of January, start of the new year, and yeah, he's been incredible. I've got like he's top of the game, this guy. Yeah, like if you look at his track record, I don't think I've ever seen a coach produce so many pro cards and so many pro wins. Like
I hadn't heard of him, Ash, and then I was speaking to Nigel White, and Nigel. I asked Nigel, and Nigel put me on to him. So I had a look at his page, and
man,
he's got some phenomenal athletes. Like
incredible way. Yep.
I sound terrible here, but what was his name? I've never heard of this guy.
No, you're right. So his Instagram is Cutz, so CUTZ. But his first name's Ariel. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's based over in, I think, California. I think he's based in.
And how did you find him?
I was just looking for a top like sort of men's physique coach. I wanted to learn from the best, and this guy he's got a lot of pro athletes that he coaches, and a lot of them Olympian athletes. So I was like, oh, this guy's got a very good team under him. And then I just reached out to him. I just gave him a message, asked him if he would take me on board, and it was all good from there. So
Well, obviously worked.
Yeah, and
yeah.
On the coaching front. Sorry, Ash.
Like considering he's based in the US, like his replies, like he must just stay on his phone constantly, because as soon as I message him, it'll be like an instant reply. And he's very good, efficient. Yeah, very efficient with check-ins and everything like that. And it was very good on show day. Like he was checking in my physique, so I was sending him videos pretty much every 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Because my body was obviously changing very rapidly, and it just helped so much in terms of keeping myself my head in the game and making sure I was on point on show day. So that was a huge good thing for me on show day.
Besides the communication experience, what was he offering you, without giving away any trade secrets? What was different between his work and previous preps that you've done?
To be honest, he was very the nutrition side of things was very basic. I did notice it was very strict though, so he didn't give me many options pretty much, and I think that was very good for me, like keeping to the same foods that my body was used to, and I pretty much kept that structure right throughout my off season and my prep. And then I think what else was he really good with? It was just pretty much that, and the check-ins, and I think the expectation of his athlete. So he's got these phenomenal athletes. So for me, it was like I had to like sort of prove myself. So I wanted to give him 120%, and that was another big thing I think that helped with my prep, was making sure that I was ticking all the boxes every day to obviously make him proud. And so.
Sometimes it's just really simple, isn't it? Just follow the instruction and do as you're told.
100%. Yeah.
There was no magic
potion or.
I really want to talk coaching too, because I know that you've got a bunch of athletes that are competing this year, and you're working with Nigel.
Yes.
So he's looking really freaking good.
Wow.
Like
unreal, eh?
He's looking ready now. Like I'm like, there's nothing left on you. And he's still so full. So you've obviously got that fine balance of getting someone down there, but he's looking so full, and Yeah, he's looking good.
That's
But
yeah.
sorry, there's one guy that I really want to talk about, and I don't know if anyone knows really that he's about to get back on stage. But I think the last time he was on stage is standing next to me, but those big old legs of his. Ooh, what's the plan with Mr. Colter?
Yeah, the old comeback king.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while for Hamish. Obviously, he's been focusing on his powerlifting for the past 8 to 10 years or whatnot. But so he wanted to get back on stage this year. Reached out to me because he literally just lives down the road. So it worked out really good. He's aiming to do the local NABBA show. So there's a local Bay of Plenty NABBA show coming up very soon. That he just wants to qualify for nationals and then aim for that nationals NABBA show. So, the guy is massive, Like, the legs on him, like, there's not many open bodybuilders in this country that have that sheer mass. Like, it's very hard to find these days, And he's definitely one of them. Yeah, just a mass monster.
I had to break it to him because he's talking about competing in Masterton, and I said, Hamish, there's no airport in Masterton, right? And he goes, oh, no, well, what do I have to do? And I said, well, you either go to Wellington or Palmy. And I said, alternately, you can drive to Hawke's Bay, stay the night, and I'll drive you down the next day. And he goes, can you do my tan for me? And I was like, I'm here, brother. So I'm really excited because he's and he's such a well-rounded athlete. Like his powerlifting, he's great. So you've got Nigel, who's looking $1 million. Hamish, who I just can't wait to see on stage. Who else have we got coming up that's worth mentioning today, or that you want to?
Yeah, so we've got I've got a few young guys that are coming through, looking really, really sharp. One young guy, Connor, who's based in Auckland. So he's doing we're aiming for the NZIP Natural Show in Taupo there. So they're about 9 weeks out now. And for a young guy, he's only young. He's got a lot of potential. He's got phenomenal proportions. And we're trying to push condition early, obviously, and then start filling them out though. So he's doing really good. He's another kid that just ticks all the boxes and does, there's some that, they've got the attitude and the mindset from the get-go, they're winners from the get-go. So they just follow the plan to a T, and those are the sort of guys that you really want. And I'm very fortunate that I do have a lot of those sort of guys. Another one is Daryl, a good mate of mine. Daryl, he's based in Palmy. You've met Daryl before?
Yeah, from Flex.
Yep.
Daryl McLaughlin.
That's the one. Yep. So he's looking to do it. He obviously did the Auckland show in the weekend there as a warm up. But we're aiming to peak for nationals. So he's looking good. Yeah, that's him there. That was that was an 8-week prep that we done that year. That was in was that last year, I think. Yeah.
I saw a photo of Daryl. I saw a photo of him today that popped up on his Insta. So that so that was good. I saw him there. That's awesome,
how do you find prepping athletes and obviously as you did with Daryl on the weekend and preparing yourself on the same day?
It's not easy.
I can't tie my shoelaces on the day.
I know. I don't. That's the thing. Like I don't take on a lot of prep clients. I've only got a handful, and just for that specific reason alone, it's just too much work. The thing is with people like Daryl, I've worked with him so many years. He's not a newbie, so he does know what to do. I'm there to guide him and help him, make sure he's on point. But I don't take on many, and just for that reason alone, Mike. So I do once because I do plan on taking a full sort of off season after this pro show, obviously to just develop my physique more and make sure that I'm going to be competitive when I go overseas and compete in America and whatnot. So I do plan on focusing on my coaching next year, whilst in that full off season mode. So that will be good. I am looking forward to that.
Did my mate from down here get hold of you? Did he flick you an email through?
I think I haven't actually seen. I haven't seen his inquiry. No, my inbox has got has been flooded like the
Yep.
past week.
I
So it
bet,
might
I
have been
bet.
caught up in that. Yeah. So we are still working through those. But what show was he aiming to do? Do you know?
Yeah, he said he's about 8 weeks out. He's just done a show.
Yeah,
He's been holding off
oh,
for. Yes, I think he's holding off
yeah.
for about 6-7 weeks, and then he's got another one
Yep.
in about 8 weeks' time.
In
So
about 8 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, have a look. If it's not there, I'll chase them up anyway.
Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
You mentioned this upcoming show, and that's one of the things I love that Mo pointed out on stage. You've got a pro card, but you're not a pro until you've used it. And that line actually harks back. I've said it many times. Mike Debenham said it. Mo finally said it.
Yeah.
My son, when he was 9, said that to me back in 2007. I said, "Oh, look, I've got my pro card," and he goes, how many shows have you done? I said, none. You're not a pro till you use it.
Good on him.
The number of people who've won pro cards in New Zealand and never used it. Sorry, you're not a pro. It's like if I have a surfboard in the garage and I don't jump in the water, I'm not a surfer.
Exactly.
So I love that Mo said that. I love that he said it on stage, and I love that you've embraced it. And you're just jumping straight in. That's fantastic.
So guys, just so people out there that aren't up to speed, the pro show is running with, is that with the Nationals?
Waikato show. Men's Physique Pro. Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks prior to the Nationals, is that right?
1 week prior. 1 week prior. So it's the Waikato and Men's Physique Pro, and then the weekend after is Nationals and the Classic Physique Pro.
Gotcha. Right, so who have we got coming in that we know for the Men's Physique Pro and at the Waikatos?
Oh, there's some sharp guys, man. So we've got Dennis.
Oh, good
who's
stuff.
A
Like
beast
on stage,
he'll be Men's Physique. He
was looking huge last time I saw him.
I think he won. He got his pro card in 2020 at Nationals, I think. And then you've got Luke Thompson. So he hasn't competed since his pro card win at 2019 Nationals. So it's been a few years for these guys. So it's going to be really good to see them back on stage. Then you've got Luigi, who won his pro card at Auckland last year.
That's the guy. He did the same thing. He got his pro card and he didn't muck around. He went off to, I think,
Romania Pro. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. Straight in the deep end. He
didn't know me from a bar of soap, but I sent him a message saying, "Well done for having the nuts to do it." Because that's
awesome, mate. So he'll be there. So those three are all in the tall. They're all tall, like they're in the same. That's sort of the same height. Those three. But obviously there's no height class in pro level. But then you've got Kurt Dell. So Kurt Dell's coming back for that. So that'll be interesting to see him in the board shorts. And then that's pretty much all I know from New Zealand.
Well, they've got a really thick contingent of pros in Australia, so I wonder if I know a pro that's coming over for the Classic Physique from Australia. So I wonder if there's some coming over from Men's Physique, because they've got enough. They ran their own show this year.
That's right, Mike. So I'm sure there'll be some Aussies that will come over. I've heard Mo was saying that there will be a few guys from Malaysia that he knows of that are going to come over for it. So
I would imagine with his links in Thailand, we're potentially going to get some Thai athletes as well as the usual guys that come over from Kuwait and
those Middle Eastern freaks.
All our minds,
So it's going to be an epic show. It'll be cool to just see how you compare and see how I stand against those sort of caliber of athletes.
For you, I guess it's. This is probably a fairly stress-free kind of pro show, because you only got your pro card 6 weeks earlier. So that'll be awesome, but also it'll give you a real indication of where you actually sit, because you never know until you stand next to these guys, right?
That's right.
I think that's actually going to be an advantage to you to be stress-free as well, because cortisol fucks with the body, and just to feel like, hey, there's not that pressure of am I going to get it? You've got it. Now it's just like, okay, let's just see how I stack up, and you'll have that realistic understanding that you've only just got it. You know that at 5 weeks out, you're probably already in better condition than all of them already anyway.
Yeah,
So you've
yeah,
got that,
yeah,
on
yeah,
your side.
yeah,
You've got a little bit of
yeah,
hype, a little bit of name
yeah,
recognition coming in. So
definitely.
I'll be honest,
Yeah,
I bet some of them are quietly sitting there thinking, damn, Ash is going to come in, and they probably don't want to lose to the new guy. So you've
yeah,
created
yeah.
some pressure,
True.
which is
Yeah,
great.
very true. Very
I love
yeah, yeah,
competition.
very true, Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So there will be a lot of pressure on the others. Yeah, it's just it'll be an awesome experience, I think. And like you said, Nate, it'll be good to see how I stack up and where I stand next to these top level, athletes. And it'll give me a good indication of how much work I need to put in my next off season to be ready to be competitive when I do go overseas to compete again. So yeah, I'll be definitely taking it all on board.
Have you competed with Dennis or Luke in the past?
I think back in the day, I think I did compete, but I never made it through to the overall, so I never actually stood next to them.
Okay.
So this will be the first time actually standing next to them and comparing my physique to theirs, which would be really cool to see. Yeah.
Oh, this could be
real exciting times, bro. I'm really, I'm happy for you, man. I'm living vicariously through you because that's so exciting.
I love it. Yeah.
Let me assure you, none of them are looking at Ash right now, looking at that and writing anything off. There's a few sleepless nights being had out there, I'm confident to say, but also having said that, being pro bodybuilders, they'll have the absolute self-belief that they can take you apart as well, because every pro bodybuilder is like a Top Gun fighter pilot. We all think we're the baddest on the planet.
Yeah.
So,
that's going to be awesome, eh?
The big question I've always had though, mate, I literally, this is a true story, it's well known, I trained as a florist. I love the shorts. How do you choose the colors?
Oh, good question. Yeah, very good question, actually. It's always a hard one, eh? Like, to be honest, I'll have about 4 pairs of shorts that I've got, and I sort of make my decision like the day before the show, and I just sort of go off what I feel and what sort of looks best on that night. And it was very hard to choose what color you want to go for. I find sometimes wearing a bright pair is not always a good idea, because it sort of takes away from your physique. So you've sort of got to be careful not to have too much going on your shorts. That's one thing that I have noticed. So I do like to sort of sometimes keep it pretty plain. A little bit of color here and there. But yeah, just sort of be mindful of that. Having too much going on.
It's got to be a fairly bold call sometimes for people to wear a pair of shorts that they might risk getting tan on or something rather like that.
Yeah, your whites, eh?
Yeah,
oh, man.
terrifying.
Those so literally I'd put those on just like pretty much before I walk down on stage. Like, you've got to, otherwise if you're in them all day, they're just going to get tan all over them. So,
and don't get me wrong, that's a great looking pair of shorts, I've got to say, but I'm guessing you don't wear them to the beach or anything.
No, they're just purely for stage, those ones. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, we are going to do a wrap on this, but what we always do, and this is probably a great time for you to do a shout out to all those people that have supported you, friends, family, sponsor, whānau, whatever you've got. The floor is yours, Ash. So
awesome, mate. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. I sort of touched on it on the show. So there's just so many people to thank, and everyone knows who they are. But yeah, obviously my coach Ariel Cutts, who's done an amazing job with me this year. I'm probably the best move I've ever made in my bodybuilding career was going under this guy. So a huge shout out to Cutts. My sponsors, so Nutrition Systems and ASN. These guys have had my back since day one. Shane Hunter, Bailey Durston. They've always had my back and provided me with supplementation and whatnot. So I'm very thankful for them. Everyone, all my family, my friends, obviously, everyone that's messaged me. I get a lot of, just random messages, like throughout the day, and they might be like, just, something just small, you're looking amazing, Ash, or, like something that just pick you up and keep you going, keep going, bro, you're going to do it, you're going to make it. And like, those are the little messages that that really hit home for me, you know, because you know what it's like on prep, man. Like you're going through some pretty dark days sometimes, and you're really digging, eh? So one little positive message like that, it's all you need.
Yeah. The
to
fan
keep
base
you going.
don't, you know, I hate use the word fan like as if we're fans, but the supporters, I don't think they really appreciate how much we value and appreciate and get a lift
100%.
from that stuff. It means,
Absolutely, definitely, Mike. It's incredible way. So big shout out to all those people. And obviously my partner Louise, I can't forget about her because she's the main one.
I met her in the bathrooms at the Nationals last year. I was lying down on the floor relaxing, and we're having a big chat about how you're going and everything. So
She didn't mention you, Mike. No, she's awesome, man.
That strange old guy, right?
She's gunning for her pro card at National, so she'll be competing a week after me, and she was very, very close second over the weekend to Leah, another amazing physique. So she ended up getting her pro card, Leah did. So it'll be really cool to see how Lou goes at Nationals in that lineup. So big obviously shout out to her, and that's pretty much it. Everyone sort of knows who they are.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Hey, look, I'm really, really excited for you, bro. I'm kind of quite buzzing, and I'm looking forward to for the pro show. I'm also looking forward, and thank you for reminding me, there's a bunch of shows coming up that pro cards are being given out at. So, you know, we've got Wellington this weekend, which I'm going to jump. I'm driving down Saturday morning, so we're going to hit down there. Cool. Check out the classic. There's a classic pro card being given there. We've got classic pro cards being given in, I think, in Waikato as well. And obviously the Nationals with the stack of them. With bikini pro cards coming up at some of our shows. So, but if you want to check it out, get on Insta on the NZIFBB. They've got a list of all the shows that they've got and what classes there are at those shows and which events are pro qualifiers. So there's probably more going on this year than we've seen in any other year. So really good year for bodybuilding fans. So hopefully we'll all see you at the show. But before we go, Ash, thank you very, very much. Been really, really good talking to you, as it always is. And
always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure.
We will catch up again soon in person. Mike, appreciate your help there tonight in the lumberjack outfit. And from us, train hard, guys. Have a great week. Stay safe, and let's see you at those shows. We're out.
Awesome.